Yeah, absolutely. So let's begin with more gratitude. Thank you for your time, everybody, as usual, and gratitude for the practice and the knowledge as it is. Okay, so right foot in front, big stance. Make sure your feet are shoulder width and hands are on the dantian, forward and back into the side. So we're going to start right away with the full dynamic of the lower body movement. And that is a bigger dynamic than it might seem. The idea of moving forward and back inside all this is my whole torso is being moved in this space, right? So I'm here and then I'm here as well as turning. All of that is happening. There's a lot to it. In my Qigong class in the morning, I was talking a lot about walking as a meditation, because basically you can take physical movement and make it a meditation. You just focus on it a lot. But walking is a really good one because there's a lot of dynamic in the lower, in the musculatures and the different squeezing and pushing and pulling that the muscles and sinews do to get you to move. And the more that you pay attention to it, the better you get at it. And that's actually a lot more tricky than people think. So I've been training in martial arts, right, for a couple decades anyways. And I can tell you that stances are still one of the hardest parts for me. There's incredible amount of nuance and subtlety to all of it. So anyways, without continuing to talk, focus on doing the movement, breathing in and breathing out. Now, when you breathe in, you're going to weight yourself on your back leg. Your weight's going to go onto your back leg. And when you breathe out, I want you to push into the ground and straighten that leg. Feel a pushing, a real actual pushing here. Now, notice the movement, back into the side, to the front, and forward. I'm going to extend that. My head is not rising up and down. My torso is moving along a horizontal plane by stepping. Now, when I step, I turn my hips to the front and I push. My weight goes to my front foot, and that lightens this foot, which allows it to come in. And it comes in, and then it goes forward, and I push all the way forward, and then I step back. My foot comes in, and it steps back. And I start back to where I started. So this is a more complicated thing than it looks like, I find, because there's a lot to this transfer in the weight. The weight goes to one foot. You have to balance on this foot. You have to keep your head up. You have to move forward evenly. You have to bring this foot up in front with no weight and push it forward with no weight and then root onto this foot. That's a lot of stuff. So keep going. Try not to go up and down at all. Move perfectly horizontally level forward and back. Breathing in and breathing out. So now, see the wave? You're the wave. The wave comes back, and the wave goes forward. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then keep your left foot in front and go side to side, forward and back. So going back to the basic stance without stepping, you can pay attention to the details of how you move in the stance, which then, as I said, are extended into the stepping. The stepping is an extension of this. Now, I'm going to show you my feet this time, so keep going. I want to show you something about my feet. This is a basic stepping pattern. It's not the only one, but this is one of the most important fundamental ones. And so you both just keep doing this. But what I'm going to show you is turn here, and this foot comes in, and slides on the surface of the floor to a cat stance. So it's not stepping like this, it's coming in on an angle to cat stance. And then it's going out on an angle to finish the step. So it's a zigzag, 1, 2. That's really important. So when we add that step in, I should have showed you this when we did the other side, but keep that in mind, okay? So ready? From just the turning in the stance to the step. Make sure the foot comes together and apart, together and apart. And every time it goes apart, shoulder width. Every time it comes together close, shoulder width. Keep. Breathing in, breathing out. Three more. 1. 2. 3. Feet together. Eyes in breath. Breathe. And around it and down. Around the toes. And out. Good. So that step is going to be a bit of a theme for the warm-up and the basics that we're going to work on today. Your lower body is the wave. Your upper body then is the boat, the thing that's carried on the wave. So I'll show you my upper body, my lower body perfectly well on the screen because of the way these things are. But if I want to reach forward with my right hand, it isn't a good idea for me to do it this way, right? Because my arm is extending way past my base, so I have to lose my balance. If I want to reach for something over here, it's a ways over there, and my foot needs to move forward so that I have something to reach and have a structural underneath. So there's a rule I'm gonna apply here. Your feet need to be faster than your hands. So your hands can engage with the technique only when your feet are in the right position to support your structure to do that technique. All right, so put your right foot forward again and go back to the basic here. And all of the movements that we've already done stationarily here in one stance, you can do with a step. And this is, of course, based on push hands and push hands competitions, which in time I'll get more into that idea. But there's basically 2 variations. There's a static one where you stay in one stance, and then there's one to do one step version, because the one step determines if you can hold your balance on the step. All you need is 1. Now, I'm here, this is my left foot, I'm going to reach with my left hand and come back. So I have this motion. Now, it's an extension of the wave too. It's not like the boat on the wave is completely separate. It's just an analogy. You could also think of it like the lower body is the lower part of the wave and the upper body is the crest of the wave. That's okay too. It's the connectivity of that idea though. Now, when I step, it's a complete movement, it's a complete dynamic movement on a horizontal plane. So I reach and complete the reach only here. And then I come back, I complete the pullback only here. My foot is ahead of my hand. My foot is ahead of my hand. Okay, so go ahead, stepping fully in with the left and fully back. Try to keep perfectly level with your head, looking straight forward. And now slow it down. Feel the motion. 2. And now finish this one slow. And then 3 full striking palm heels coming out with full power. 1, 2, 3. And let it down. Cleansing breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Round and push it. And up. And good. Just do the other side. So left foot forward. Let's jump right into the stationary movement with the hand, with the right hand forward and back. Comfortable, turning your hips and pushing forward. Your hips. Pushing forward. So, feet are faster than the hands. The transfer of the weight is smooth and continuous. There's no breaking in it. It's smooth. Let's just say that. And the continuity of the hand movement matches the body stepping in and stepping out. So this movement doesn't change. All that changes is the lower body's positioning. So the coordination of how to step and move the basic techniques with your arms becomes most of what it is, most of the practice. So, ready? Start to step in and back. We're reaching in with our right hand, stepping back with our right foot. Our right foot is faster than our right hand. Our right hand is just behind the foot. The feet are coming together and apart, together and apart. And now slow it right down. Feel the movement. One more, nice and slow. Focus on the dynamic, the continuity of the whole movement. Now 3 strong, striking palm heels. 1, 2, 3. And then one more time. Feet together. Cleansing breath. Gather all the energy you can. Pull it down through the mind, the brain, through the respiratory system, pushing around the digestive system, down the back of the legs, stretching the back of the legs, round the toes, up the center. And then from the middle dantian in the middle of the chest, lean back and extend. And shake it out a bit. Good. All right, so let's just warm up a little bit more on the legs and we'll do a stretch. There. Feel like it's always getting a little crookeder and crookeder these days. That's probably pretty good. Okay, so from here, feet shoulder width, hands up. Elbow to knee and just alternating legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now bring the knee up and hold it for just 1 long second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Bring your knee up. Left knee. Extend the heel downward and the toes up. And then come back up. That was 1. Make sure the knee comes down and up. 2. Knee comes back up. 3. 4. 5. Switch feet. Think of the knee being like a lever, goes down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet again. Now, the foot's going to kick out to the side. The pinky toe side of the foot, the edge of the foot's going to push furthest out, and your big toe should be aligned in the middle of your forehead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch feet. Edge of the foot out, big toe aligned to the forehead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. Now make loose fists, light fists, and a little tapping on the leg muscles. Calves. Lighter on the inside of the calves. Lighter on the inside of the leg. On the glutes. And then lightly tap lower back. Back of your wrists. And shake it out. And then we'll do a stretch. So push your feet out. Sink down. Relax. Let the hips relax, let your weight sink down. Feel the stretch from the back of the hips, the center of the base of the spine. And then put your fingertips on the ground, your feet forward, sink even more. Come up. Twist the elbow to the knee. Other way. Back up. I've been borrowing a little bit from yoga for this lately, but I think it's been helping people with this stretch, so we're going to do it again. Turn to your left and hands up. We call this warrior 2 yoga. So we're going to lean into that stretch. The hands help because you're going to feel where your weight needs to be better. This stretch should be all about the weight going into this foot. And then just borrowing one more thing from yoga, we're going to reach down to the outside of the left ankle and reach up with the right hand above us to triangle. This is another one, really helps with your long stance. It's a great stretch for it. And then hand comes down, heel comes up, and sink into runner stretch. Put the back knee down, push your weight forward against your ankle from your hips. And then come back, with the toes in the air, lean over the leg. Then hands to the floor in the middle, turn to the front, straighten your back. Turn to your right, push. Lean into the stretch, hands up. Now use this positioning to tip and reach. And then down, runner stretch. Put back knee down, push your way forward. When I come back, toes in the air, and sink down. To the middle, to the front. Work your feet in. Straighten back your knees. Breathe in. Breathe out. And circle your hips. And the other way. Good. Okay. So, give yourself a hug and open. Breathe in, breathe out. When you breathe out, make sure that your rib cage is getting that flexation of coming up and back, which is really good for the heart and the lungs, the respiratory system, helps with breathing. And interestingly, if your respiratory system works well, your digestive system works better. So they're all kind of connected. And then out and circle the shoulders forward. And then circle the shoulders and elbows forward. And then big circles through the wrists and shoulders. Maximum stretch here as you come up past the shoulders and down. Feel the stretch through the whole body. And then down. Out, shoulders backwards. And shoulders and elbows backwards. And then bigger and bigger circles backwards. Full size circles backwards. Stretching here, maximum stretch. And extend and twist. Through the shoulders, not through the elbows. Really think of twisting the upper torso. And drop the arms. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2, 3. And then reach up. Look up at your fingertips. Extend as high as you can. Tippy toes. Keep stretching. Keep stretching. And then bring your heels down. Grab your left hand with your thumb down. Twist from your feet and pull your left fingers around behind you as far as you can. Way. Back to the center. Reach up again. Look up. Stretch up. Push the fingertips up, but project your energy way past your fingertips, past the ceiling, into the stratosphere, past space, into the universe, so to speak. And then heels down. Grab your arm and hold. And then drop. switch arms, and drop. Shake it. All right, so before we do the wrist stretch today, we're gonna actually do a little self-acupressure to help develop an awareness of a very important point I talk about a lot. When you make a fist, your middle finger where it touches the middle of the hand here is pericardium 8 or Laogong, hand mirror. So we're gonna hold our hand like this, take our thumb and put it to Laogong and massage gently onto that spot. Now, when you do this massage, you just do a little circle and you put a little pressure and you let your intuition tell you what else to do. There's no right or wrong. Acupressure is largely bringing awareness through sensation to a point. So the pressure is bringing your mind to that point. Relax your mind and don't think about what you should or should not be doing. Just feel and be aware of that spot. And then we're going to stretch the hand. Think of stretching that spot. Fingers down. Fingers up. Hand to the center and twist. And then we'll do crane beak. Crane beak's an interesting one because Laogong is here. I'm grabbing at that spot with my fingers essentially, and then press down. Shake, and then rub top and the bottom of the hand a little bit. Clear that. When you do work on acupressure point, and that could be like for self-care or it could be for martial art application. So this type of thing is good because it gives the nerves a reset. Shaking is good too, same difference. Okay, so my right hand held to my left thumb to the center of my palm, and a little bit of massage. Again, awareness is what matters. It's not about doing it right or doing it wrong, just awareness. What do you feel? What does your body tell you? And then stretch. Back, stretch. In, rotate. And around, crane beak. And good. Good. Now, from here, head side to side. And then roll your chin. Now look forward again. And remember how that felt. Grab your left or right elbow with your left hand, make another loose fist, and hit it with this side of the hand here on the muscle here, and then lightly come up the neck. And then just like the beginning of the form, tiger claw, pull, and massage. Focus on the middle finger for strength. And again, there's no right or wrong, just let your intuition and your body guide you. There'll be something you can do to help yourself, I'm sure. And then again, this is important to finish, clear it. And now, side to side. Notice the difference on that side. Drop the chin, and then look forward again. But I feel this side wants that now. There's a desire for that on this side. The brain is telling me I better do that. So let's do that. And then grab and use the idea of the claw. And then here. And now one more time, like side to side. See how much better it feels now. Roll the chin, and roll the chin. And look forward and look up. Down and go around. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Quick drink of water if you like. And we'll come back. Water. Okay. Well, Beverly went somewhere. Bruno, do you know by just movement where we left touching on the form, the learning the form part in the first set for the nuchrical? Do you know what I mean? No, you wouldn't know. You were away for last 2 weeks. I better figure it out myself. I know Beverly will know. So when she gets back, I'll ask her. She'll know. But for everybody else watching then later on, this does not have too much dead time here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Beverly, can you remind me how far we've come through the first set and the re-teaching of it?
I think we were to the spot just before eagle spreads its wings.
So we did this, but we haven't gone into this.
No, we didn't do this either.
Oh, okay, so we just came here.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we were doing this, but we didn't do this.
Thank you. That's appreciated. Okay, so before we jump into the class in terms of the form, let me bring together some of the threads I threw out in the warm-up. The warm-ups are teaching a lot of stuff too, of course. Okay, 2 things about the concept of traditional Chinese medicine that I think are important enough in the relation to Tai Chi to mention. So the first one is that one of the ways that you would look at health from the TCM perspective is a balance of various elements. So you can think of the 5 elements of fire and earth and water and metal and wood. But what matters is that they work together as in a harmonious way. Any one element that becomes unbalanced unbalances the rest by effect because it's not participating in the totality of what needs to be happening for health to be sustained. And this is really important because this is actually how the Tai Chi works. If one part of my body is not doing the movement in tune and time and in balance in an extended way, the whole thing falls apart. So it's not possible to do it a little wrong. It's either like you get it right or you totally don't get it right at all. And then of course, this is expressed in the sense that different parts of the body represent different elements of what would be the energy body of the mind. So the feet have to be below the hands. The feet are representative of the unconscious. What is the unconscious? It's the parts of your responses that are instinctual and you cannot consciously force them to turn on and off. They're going to happen because they're part of your brain's wiring. So a fear response is part of this. So, suddenly a lion is chasing, running at me from here. My brain's going to do a certain stuff. I can't stop it from doing it. It's just going to do it. It's instinctual. It's unconscious. That training of walking and getting your stance under you teaches that part of your brain to put your stance under you so that that response immediately structurally aligns you. Then you've got to train yourself to relax. And that's where the form comes in again too. So I see the line running in at me, and my feet naturally just support myself and I sink down. That's the unconscious or the below the mind part that should just settle. Now, if I allow myself to be afraid of this thing coming at me, I will tense up. If I tense up, I will reduce my mobility by equal proportions in a very, very drastic way. So if this shoulder is a little tense, that means this arm won't move quickly, which means I won't be able to respond as this thing comes at me in a way that's truly efficient. And now later on, you'll get to see this for yourself. But if a person is trying to swing at you, even if they're skilled and they're fast, but you're truly relaxed, it feels like it takes forever for the technique to get to you. But if you're tensed, it's the opposite. So that's a lot to have said, but it is part of every part of the form. So we're going to go through the form now. Think about, you have to be relaxed in the face of the threat. That is the paradox of the internal mindfulness and peace that we want to develop. So from the beginning of the form, we step out on the path of life. Our hands come down, and now you see a real serious threat coming at you. And you think to yourself, and this is what I recommend, my teacher recommends, teachers recommend for generations, is see, look clearly, sink in your waist, pelvic tilt, a little bit of tension in your stomach muscles to be aware of them, but not enough that you're like contracting, just a little bit of awareness. And then put your hands up. And then whatever may come, work with it. Okay, and we'll stop there, I guess, for the moment. So let's review that a little bit, and then we'll probably get through eagle spread sphinx. So if I was doing this technique facing the camera, 1, 2, hands and feet align, up, drop the hands, raise the knee, bring the hands back up, and everything comes down together to the center. Then my weight is going to go forward to my right foot, the foot that's coming down here. Now, you never, ever, ever want to do anything like this, where your weight falls. It comes down, and you step very carefully onto the foot. Okay? So, here. There. So, here, step down onto the foot. The foot is in line with the back foot. It's not here, it's here. And then my weight goes to my right foot. I turn sideways to the right, and my right hand comes across here. You can see in this moment that my left hand is still up like this. Now this is definitely the same thing you see with boxing, when the boxer is like this. Now this would be a left-handed boxer, but the point is they're sideways, right? They're sideways. They're sideways to minimize the attacking area of the body. So if I'm here, you can strike all around here, but if I'm here, you've only got a very thin line of available attack. So if I go to here, I'm turning my body sideways to get it thin and out of the way. And there's an actual, you actually kind of want to feel like you're small enough to fit through a crack in a wall kind of thing, like that kind of idea. I go to here, and I do that, and now my left hand comes down on top of my right this way. Now, if I didn't move my right hand, they would actually end up being like this. Okay, so it comes down, but then my right hand comes back slightly as this one takes the space, and then I turn my hips to the front again, and I extend out my right wrist. I'm striking with this part of my wrist the same way in the beginning of the form. It comes up, this is coming forward, okay? So I go to here, I turn sideways, and then I move back to the front, come up. Now, if you look at my posture here, this is important. A lot of people do this like this. It gets way too expanded. It's very tight. This is just to the outside of the hips, and this is just up to throat height in front of you. This hand is pile stance brought up. This hand, you've seen throughout the form a lot, right? It's that clearing motion here. So from here, 1, 2. Now, what's going on here to some degree anyway, I can show, is a strike is coming towards your center at your belly height roughly. So I'm here, and I deflect the strike with my right hand like that. And now that, let's say it's an arm, so if it was a right arm. I would deflect the arm to the outside, and then I would take control of the arm with my left, and hold that arm away from me while I strike the throat with the back of my wrist. Okay, so it's clear, hold, strike. Okay. Now, I can't demonstrate this because I don't have a person here, but there's a strategy here that's really interesting, and I'll explain it. And again, in time, hopefully we'll explore it. If a person strikes at you, let's say they strike with their right arm, and I do this as a block, and then I transfer to here. I've touched their hand twice. 1, 2. This sends a different signal to the brain that's much more challenging as a threat than if I touch it once. Because if something happens once, your brain goes, what? And then it's fine. Because it goes, okay, that was just one thing. But if you go 1, 2, the second one goes, oh, it really sets off the alarms. And so 1, 2, the person's mind is drawn to the connection on the strike has there's nothing that's going to stop it. That's a strategy that gets used a lot. It's this, I meant to mention this when we started again after the warm-up. This is another thing. Okay, because we don't have people to train with, to work with, one of the key things we can develop right now, which is very important anyways, is how your body experiences things, and then looking at others and realizing that their bodies are built out of the same stuff, the same amount of bones, and the same amount of sinews and all this. So they're going to experience things like you do. So when I do a stretch, for instance, and I feel that stretch in all the sinews in these 3 joints, that's how another person would experience it. So if I want to apply that feeling that I've developed in myself to a technique on another person, I know what it feels like, and I can make it more, utilize it better. Here, you will hopefully come to know in time what it feels like to have a hand deflect a strike and then deflect another strike, connect twice, and how that is different in your brain than if it was just once. Because self-knowledge is what gives you the knowledge to interact with other people. So from here, 1, 2, and then I strike. Okay, and that's really all there is to that movement. The way I normally teach this is I have a student holding this, which is a wooden version of a Japanese style knife called a kako, and then the person is going to try and stab the other person. And so I deflect and I hold the hand that has the knife away here. And that is to emphasize that this position has to be in front and in a place you can see it and control it. Because if you really were dealing with the person with the knife, you wouldn't want to get the knife out of your sight. You'd want to keep it where it needs to be, which is right there. Okay? So that's all that there is to that move. It's a pretty straightforward move, but it's a wonderful move. Great utility in it. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We'll go a little bit into the next technique, but actually, oh yeah, we're almost gonna be out of time. You know what, we'll go into the next technique next class because it's a whole complicated technique, lots and lots of really amazing things. well worth spending a whole class on. I wanted to give everybody else a chance to run through the ends of the second set and the third set, because from what I can tell, most of the time when people get confused in either of those sets, it's near the end, because the end gets quite a bit more complicated. So the end of the second set. So if I'm facing here, and I turn, I'm gonna go to my left, 90 degrees to my left, I'm gonna do the push-pull-punch posture here. And we're gonna do the sequence with all the kicks and the double strikes, okay? So ready, coming back. Pick up the foot like a puppet on a string. Kick out. Back up. Heel down. Foot back up. Step across. Drop the hands. Swing the back leg. Rock back. Double. Strike left hand high. Down. Turn. Into the corner again. Right hand on top. Now from here, left foot comes in, open the palms, step, push. Big circle. And out. Up. And down. And up again. And drop. Swing the back leg. Both hands equal height. Rock back. Turn. Push forward, fast kick, turn 180 degrees, pick up the foot, big circle, out, up, down, up, block with your left, scoop the ice cream with the right, sequence, push, poke, punch, draw back, and push away. Good. So is that sequence good? Anybody got any questions about that? I know it's a confusing one. Okay, so let's do the last cloud hands in the third set and then through to the end, okay? So when we start cloud hands, it's diagonal single whip. I come back, and then cloud hands begins. 1. 2. 3. 'Now, from here, which is single whip to the side, reach forward with your right hand, shift back, finger strike with the left. Now, 180-degree turn, pushing down. 3 circles. Pick up the right foot. Out. Up. Brush the knee as it comes down. Step. Feet are faster than the hands. Foot. Up. Uppercut. Here. Turn the hands. Uppercut. Other corner. Grab the head. Pull it down. And then sequence. Single whip to the front. And then use your leg strength. Snake creeps down, nice and low. Swing the arm. Uppercut underneath. Switch feet. Uppercut again. Turn. 1, 2, back, up, kick, push, poke, punch, draw back, push away. One more time, carrying the tiger to the mountain. finish, carry the tiger. At the end, if you want a traditionally way to end it, hands in, feet together, down, breathe in and out. Okay, any questions about the form? Nope, okay.
Maybe next time, Lucas, if you could review the grasp the sparrow by the tail with the walking steps. I still have difficulty with that.
Absolutely, it's complicated to do for sure. You know, there's because we don't have time to get into it, but if you ever watch European fencing with sword fighting like this, it's very interesting to see how they use their front leg to pull themselves forward, and that's similar. I'm pulling myself kind of with my legs underneath to do that. So that's what I'll say for now. We don't have time right now today. So good question. Okay, that's it. I think that's it. Thank you for your time, everybody. Have a great week. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.